We are live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and all wrestling matters, Sportzwire Radio. And we are now less than 48 hours away from the king of Cedar Rapids. And a man that's won that king of the competition when it was somewhere else. He may or may not talk about that, but he's also got a huge match in his own right. And what about that guy who holds that other gold that he and his best friend, his real brother Mephisto, still want? He may talk about that Tone DeBoss who's going to be elsewhere, but always here because, after all, he is the show. And, he is not only the real rock star and the rock star of the underground, but the guy, when you think about all these rock stars that have come on Sportswire Radio over the past year, if it wasn't for this guy, there was one rock star nearly 4 years ago, July 2022. And look at where he is. Look at where we are. And there's no better person to kick off tonight's road to the King of Cedar Rapids pre-show with none other than the one and only resident rock star, the reigning, defending RCW champion and one half of the Rock Stars of the Galaxy, Mr. Sean Jovi. The champ is here, my friend. How are we doing?
Doing fantastic, Tom. Excited for another great weekend of wrestling in Cedar Rapids, baby.
I can't wait.
King of Cedar Rapids, the first King of Cedar Rapids.
You were the king.
From the one and only true King of Palo. Well, I think whoever wins this year deserves it. We have a good lineup this year for IMF.
Some great names.
I'm excited for the show.
Me too. I am very excited. I'm happy to be doing, and I'm happy to be donating a ticket. We're always happy to do that. We always love to support our wrestling shows. I'm very excited about the card, but I want to talk some RCW with you also. Winter Wasteland. It feels like a Winter Wasteland. I'll tell the audience why, because I'll have to show my left hand here in a few minutes, and that may shock some people, and it won't quite be a Johnny Velocity shock, but it might be close. But let's talk about your match at the King of Cedar Rapids, because I mentioned that guy that holds gold that you still want isn't going to be here, but instead, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform, you, Sean Jovi, most certainly helped build Sportswire Radio. Talk to me why the unfortunate victims of those circumstances are going to be the Switchblades.
I mean, you're right. It is unfortunate. Not because I'm facing the Switchblades, because obviously their asses are getting pounded to the ground like they do every time they face the Rock Stars of the Galaxy. But no, Tony Boy decides to be like, oh, boo-hoo. I got hurt by Sean Jovi last month. He beat my ass up in the back. No one could see it. Boo-hoo. I want to take a month off and train and do this fantastic tour and do all these things a celebrity does and, not be at the IMF shows when you are a champion. Tone, you could learn from this speech right here. Just saying. You are skipping a show for your tour. Aren't you supposed to be a wrestler now? Rapper turned wrestler? Is that what you were calling it, Tone? Come on, man. You're fooling all of us. You're a fool. You're taking time off because you're scared of what the Rock Stars of the Galaxy are going to do to you after we demolish the Switchblades again.
And they certainly are, like I said, the victims of those circumstances. But, you continue to go back to something that you've said on and off here over the past couple of months, is that you have been at every single IMF live show since the very first one. We go back to Winter Class 2023. And that's more than 2 years. You've been at every single one. You have not missed one IMF live show. And
5-hour drive every time.
5 hours. We see it, Jovi's vlogs. We see what you've went through, blizzards, 100-degree weather, sickness. There was a few times you came, you were sick with the flu. It didn't matter. You've been here every single IMF live show. I believe you're the only man or one of only a handful of men on the roster.
One of the few travelers, for sure.
One of the few travelers, certainly, that can say that. And yet, you seem to go back to that point because the man that you've been feuding with here quite a bit over the past few months, one half of the IMF Wrestling's tag team champions, Tone DeBoss, well, he certainly, went out and is not going to be here. Whereas you, even though you are that rock star and certainly that rock star of the underground, have not missed not one show come hell or high water.
Damn right. I don't see Tony Boy on the poster. I don't see Tony Boy on the card. He's doing some 319 to 309 tour. I don't give a shit about your area codes. Sorry, Tom. Get the buzzer ready. I'm just.
You actually got to be.
I respect your show. So, yeah, but you know how I feel about Tone the Boss. It's a never-ending nightmare, brother.
Oh, you want to do it? I mean, I actually can do it. I mean, before I tell the audience.
No,
oh, okay. Well, then I guess I should tell the audience then, since I'm going to be a little slower with some of my hands, is because, I have a fractured hand, unfortunately. So I hope it's not a broken hand, but I may be a little slow tonight in certain algorithms or rhythms because I unfortunately was a victim of my own circumstances here, thanks to the blizzard here and the bomb cyclone that, my hand was a victim. So unfortunately, that's why I'm not showing up. I wouldn't want one second with you, sir, in that ring, especially now that I'm handicapped and disabled. I mean, I'm going to make sure to be on my best behavior here tonight because now that I've only got one arm, I'm going to be slow with the buzzer, slow with all the sounds and the algorithms here.
You can handle it. You're good.
Handle it. I see what you did there. But these switchblades, I mean, you're going to make an example out of them. I would certainly imagine.
Oh, it's no doubt. And I know people can say it's a hoo-ha-ha forgotten conclusion. I mean, yeah. How many times has Mephisto slammed Freddy around? How many times have I had to have a domestic dispute with my brotherly other half and Ricky Romero? It's simple math. 2 big men versus 2 little vanilla midgets.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, here's the vanilla midgets word. Oh boy, you know what? This is why we are so excited about this show here coming up less than 48 hours from now. And Sean Jovi, he is coming out swinging here tonight. You're going to see a slew of your favorites here in a little while, and Sean Jovi is come hell or high fury. He has certainly plenty to say tonight. And boy, I would not want to be Ricky Romero and Freddie Daniels. And it seems to me that Sean Jovi and Mephisto are going to take that. So I guess then you will eventually, do you think you're going to see Tone DeBoss again in Prince of Chia? I mean, what do you think and make of all that?
That's a good question, Tom. You see, if I was Tony Boy, I wouldn't show my face in IMF ever again because there's going to be 2 rock stars waiting at the front door for him when he decides to return with our tag titles. Now, Prince of Chia, he's going to be at King of Cedar Rapids. I don't know why we have to go through these switchblades. We could take him 2-on-1. We don't have to have Tone there. He's not relevant enough for that. Oh, he is on the poster. Why is he on the poster? He doesn't belong.
Well, I mean, he is one half, I guess. Now, I wouldn't
on that poster.
Well, and I would agree with that, especially because I would agree with the fact that you've not missed a show. You were, certainly America's rock star at one time. You were the first King winner here. We've had the live show. You won the King of Palo back in 2024. I mean, your run certainly speaks for itself. But I guess in defensive management and who made the poster, they are the tag team champions, and I think that's why Prince and Tone are on the poster. I would. That's what I would beg to say as to why.
Tone's not there. You don't belong in the poster. Simply put, put my face, and then you can put Mephisto over Prince too. You don't need them there. They're not real champions.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you what is real. You got to go out and hit the sub button for me when it comes to the IMF. We are very excited about the show. We are excited to see some people. I see somebody has arrived here. We'll put them on in about 15 minutes because we are here with Sean Jovi, the resident rock star, the first rock star here at this platform. He's in the Hall of Fame for that. He is the rock star of the underground, and he is going to be in action less than 48 hours from now. Thank you so much to everybody here for tuning in with us. And Johnny Velocity, Quick Strike, did want to say, join the club. Yeah, it did dawn on me. I was going to make a Facebook post about it, but I'm like, well, I'm not dying. It's a hand injury. I didn't want to be dramatic, but I do want to say that I have joined Johnny, but I hopefully will continue to participate in these shows if you allow me to. Thank you. We'll say hello to everybody. Camo Cam, who you have quite an interesting history with this here. Ox McCoy, who's also on the poster. I mean, there's a lot to get into here. Before I do get to RCW here in a few minutes, we obviously talked about the Kings, you being, the first king here in the IMF, the King of Palo in 2024. And, what a stacked card that is, by the way. You think about some of the names that are going to be here, and some of them are going to be on Winter Wasteland here in RCW. And, what is your thoughts on that for a minute?
We do have a stack card in full in RCW, PWF, and IMF especially. We got Gabe Sayers coming back. The All Wrestling Matters World's Champion.
Absolutely.
He's going to be there. We got Damian Saint, our new IMF World Champion. He's going to be there. We got Soldier GP. You got no, I think he's out. I don't know what's going on with him. Oh yeah, he's injured. I don't know. I always like to mention his name, even though I forget that he exists sometimes.
And you pinned him not too long ago to win those tag team championships months ago. You did you pinned him really.
Yeah, I mean, I did pin him, so maybe that's why I thought of him. Well, just be happy I thought of you, Soldier.
I see. But, listen, Damian Saint and Gabe Sayers, that's a great point real quick on them, because Gabe Sayers, got to give it up. And first of all, it was his birthday on Monday, and his company, TF Crew, had a show, the Milford Mania, which, again, I was proud to be a sponsor, just like all the IMF shows, and they had over 400 people there. They had ECW legend Nunzio in action. They had Cheeseburger, who we all know from Ring of Honor, Japan, has his own dojo. And then we had on Aaron Rourke, WWE ID prospect. I mean, it was an amazing card, 400 plus people there. And Gabe Sayers wrestled in the main event for it. And he has an opportunity. He's already the hardcore champion. He has an opportunity to hold 4 championships. This guy, Gabe Sayers, I mean, boy, he's going to have quite a task, though, in front of him with Damian Saint. And, just real quick before I get to the PWF and RCW IMF show, Winter Wasteland, that you're obviously going to have a big role in your own right. The main event Empire is who I'm really paying attention to very closely, because we know what Felix had to say about the importance of winning that main event Empire. And then you've got guys like Isaiah Rage, who are going to be a part of it. I mean, the main event Empire with Mason Grayskull, who, by the way, give it up to him. And we know about his story in a TNA tryout. I mean, I almost think this is the main event Empires to lose if you were to, be a betting man.
Yeah, I mean, it's really simple. It's weird that Isaiah Rage is back. It's good for him. He's back. He made amends with the roster, whatever. Felix, that kid is something special. As much as I hate to say it, I've not won a match against him. So there's that. But Felix is a great competitor, and he deserves to be in the main event. He's earned that right. And I'm hoping that in the King of Cedar Rapids tournament and whatnot, he does well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, yes, he's it. Oh, no, listen, Felix announced right after what happened with Damian Saint winning the world title that he's entering and he will win the King of Cedar Rapids. And we know what Isaiah Rage is in there, and then you have, Mason Grayskull, who, by the way, is going to have a big match in his own right. He's going to be wrestling the big guy himself, Austin Bayless, and Rory Fox. You want to talk about it?
That's going to be a good match.
And you know what? Anywhere else, that's the main event. Think about those guys, right? We know the pedigree of those 3 men. That's a main event. But on this show,
Iowa legends.
Absolutely. And on this show, because it's so stacked, I mean, they're all main events. Your match included, certainly. We talked about Damian and Gabe, the King of Cedar Rapids, the tag match. We know how what we're going to have in the Midwest Express and an Octane. I mean, that's really a fascinating. I mean, all these matches before we get to RCW alone could be main events, and especially Rory Fox, Austin Bayless, and Mason Grayskull.
As much as people call it a main event, I call it a showcase. You got 3 very big names in the Iowa wrestling scene going head to head to head. That's huge. And to say it's happening at an underground company, that's even huger. That's the thing. IMF has grown so much over these last few years since I've been a part of it and they started doing the live shows. I've gotten to see everything grow from humble beginnings in the backyard to where we are now. And couldn't be prouder of what IMF has put together over time. I'm
Absolutely.
very excited that we are one of the flagship federations in this underground circuit. You're welcome.
Well, you know
But,
what? There's no question you
no,
played a role in that, and everybody on the roster did a
yeah,
great job
I mean,
with that.
everyone had played their part in the whole thing, and we all have something special going.
No,
And
listen, you guys are awesome, and I am so happy. I see Gabe and his success. Obviously, what you've done. We mentioned this little guy, Rad Dad. You heard of? We talked about him and his part of the Milford Mania show. I was listening to Mickey Vargas just before.
Superplex in the mall history, I think I
Yep.
heard.
Yeah, Superplex and Mall in the history, Angel Santiago, all those guys there, and then I saw Mickey Vargas and Anthrax wrestling for the X Brand Championship. Anthrax is a legend. Ox knows exactly about that. And, he came on, and I see all these different people from the underground, the backyard, doing a lot of great things, and that's what it's about. But let's talk about it for a few minutes because I do want to get into because you're going to be a part of that card. There's going to be some other names that I want to get into because you are going to be defending that RCW championship, and now it's once again you and Thomas McEntee.
You're right. Tyler Fury was scheduled to be in that match. But you know me, I run the show, and I wasn't too happy Mr. Fury broke his contract obligations when he helped me win that title. You see, yeah, I paid him off. I gave him a contract renewal if he helped me win. But not one part of that contract said he was able to attack me after he helped me. This is supposed to be a friendly little exchange. He didn't have to take me out. He did the wrong choice. So what did I do? I suspended him for hitting an RCW official because I am. And now it's a one-on-one match. I have no third opponent for the first time in Winter Wasteland history. And I am okay with that because the show must go on, and the show is going to demolish McEntee once again. And I will show that I don't need a rando from another backyard fed to defeat Thomas McEntee. He probably thinks maybe I do because that's how it had to happen last month. Nah, kid, I just needed my gold back. Now, if I lose it to you, it's on me. And I ain't going to let that happen.
And listen, that was something you spoke about before the year was out last year when Thomas McEntee had held that RCW championship and you wanted it back. And I guess considering the history that Thomas had last year, should not only what you have done to Tyler Fury and suspending him, and should you defeat Mr. McEntee and eliminating yet another problem, it's possible considering the history is there, especially of the former incumbent Thomas McEntee, that who knows if we'll see him again in 2020. There is a lot at stake for you here, Sean Jovi, coming up less than 48 hours from now.
There is. But you know what I say? I want to perform good under pressure. I got to do it. There's always pressure. No matter where you go, no matter what you do in life, there will be pressure. You will be pressured into doing things. And, I got to do what I got to do. If I got to defend my title and I got to run over a bunch of people to do it, you bet your ass I'm going to try and do it. You can't tell me I'm not going to do something. I'm just going to freaking do it. I'm Sean Jovi, the resident rock star. I call me the show for a reason. Because I am the show. I am the heart and soul of Sportswire Radio next to you, Tom. Without you and I, what would Sportswire be?
No, it's without you, Sean Jovi. No, forget about my hand, my victim of circumstances. Ox had put a funny line in, but no, it's without you, sir. Because when we think about all these rock stars, right? People talk about Josie Scott, who the rock star himself, wrote Chris Jericho's theme song all those years ago, the Spider-Man song. People see David Ellefson, the co-founder of Megadeth. They see Mark Farner, Grand Funk Railroad. We're in America. You were the American rock star here first. I mean, they see all these people, Lorraine Lewis, who's on all these OnlyFans magazines, Joel Hoekstra, Whitesnake, that's almost Bon Jovi. I mean, they see all these, Carmine Appice. I mean, the guy practically was responsible for Van Halen. I mean, all these rockers, I can go up and down the list all day. You were the first one. You were the first one.
Yeah, and I mean, you've had a bunch of success. By the way, you need to try and get Black Tide. I love those guys.
You know what? I'll get anybody. You tell me, anybody in the chat, you want to see a band come on here? I'll break the fourth wall for you. You have a band, you want me to come? I had 12 Stones, Paul McCoy, Evanescence, Bring Me to Life. You want a band? I'll do my best to get away. Gus G, the man was the second longest tenured guitarist for Ozzy Osbourne. I'm still working on John Bon Jovi. Let me get my hand healed. But no, if you're out there, you want me to get Black Tide, I'll message him. You tell me what Black Tide, I'll do whatever.
It'd be cool to see him on your show. If you don't mind me going off topic, I got a story about them as to why I wanted this to happen. They had a YouTube contest in 2009 when they had their Light from Above album for their song Shout.
I remember that.
I actually used to use it as my theme when I was younger too. But they had a fan music video contest where the fans send them jamming out to Shout, and they'll put it on one big video. Me and my buddies at the time, we actually sent in one, and we are featured on that video. In the background, you see my buddy Zach Gibson. He's got his little brother, and he's using him as a guitar. I was dancing around the background with that old Jovi wig and the.
Yes, I remember that.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but
I don't know. Maybe I have. But I tell you what I will do. Because I'll tag him on Instagram. Because recently, I just had Ricky Rackman of Headbangers Ball and the Billy from Biohazard just shared my clip, and I get like 5,700 views. So I will tag Black Tide. I will tag them on here, and we'll see if they take the bite. And I will do that. And anybody that has a band that you want to have on here, I will certainly try my best to bring them on. And we're very excited. I'll come back to the RCW situation in a minute, but also the rest of the card. I mean, we've got, Jimmy Payton's in action against Gavel Payne. I mean, that's a barn burner of a match. I mean,
it's Ricky versus Gavel.
Ricky versus Gavel. I'm sorry. We have Uric and Nicholas Crenson. That was the one I wanted to talk about next. Nicholas Crenson and Uric. That's in action. I mean, both men need a win. I mean, I guess they both.
And Uric just got signed to the RCW as well.
Yes.
He's part of the roster exchange, and I figured why not have him debut against the former RCW champion Nicholas Crenson.
Absolutely. And Dexter King and Jimmy Payton, absolutely. Another big match. We saw with Felix, who was the PWF champion. What an upset that was. But Felix does not, he's got his sights on bigger things. I'm not even going there with that. But, and there's, Kyle Kaplan, by the way, is showing up. I mean, Kyle, who, Johnny's in the chat, you certainly come a long way in ROEW, is showing up to IMF. He's going to be a part of the King of Cedar Rapids. Jason Storm's going to be in that as well, but Kyle Kaplan's also going to be pulling double duty. I think that's going to be very fascinating to see how he does here in RCW and also in the King of Cedar Rapids show.
Yeah, it's going to be a show, man. I'm excited.
And we're all excited. And if you're out there on YouTube, do me a favor, hit the sub button for Sean Jovi. And he's closing in on 1,000 subs. He's almost there. We told him when he hits 1,000 subs, we'll put him in the Hall of Fame again. So he's getting ever so closely. Also, Johnny Velocity, hello to him. And he's got 4 months left. We'll see if he's back in the IMF. He said he doesn't know.
Hey, Johnny Velocity.
Ooh.
One shot with some.
I tell you what.
Find me.
They're finding. You know what? That's Dave Jameson. We're finding it. That's for sure. Ox said I'm rocking the Andre the Giant hand. Not quite, but I'm doing the best I can. Please hit the sub button for the IMF. Camo Cam, we mentioned that. Zilla's here, who did say hello, and a bunch of comments. Ox has had bad luck with Gabe and Winter. But we've all had bad luck with Winter. Ask my good hand. The belt is absolutely gorgeous, and who knows? Maybe Johnny can be convinced to have you and him one time in one memorable time. That would be certainly one. It's a quote of Bon Jovi live. That'll be one wild night. That'll be one wild night, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Jovi and Johnny Velocity, the RWW Prestige Champion and the RCW World Champion. Boy, I'll tell you what, that would be one that I'd have marked on my calendar, rest assured. Rest assured.
It's in a dream match that a lot of people have talked about for a while, and
absolutely.
I hope the timelines match up, man. I'd hate to see you not wrestle for this before you go.
Two of the most respected men of this generation in the underground, the backyard circuit. I mean, that would be a match a lot of people, I think, would want to see. But I know you're a busy man. I have someone here that hasn't been here in a while that wants to talk. Not quite who you think it is, but close. But I wanted to ask you, do you have any final words for Thomas McEntee before Saturday night?
Thomas, you're doomed. I beat you once. I'll beat you again. I don't need help now that I have this. Like I said, if I lose this to you, Thomas, that's on me. I already did the hard part by winning it back by any means necessary. Now I get to take out everything on you. Tony Boy's not going to be an IMF. So I need a new punching bag. Thomas, thanks for volunteering. I'll see you at Winter Wasteland.
Oh, boy. We know the history of late Sean Jovi winning back his RCW championship, getting the possession of something he talked about here. He ordered Thomas McEntee to give back that championship. Well, now, after what we saw Tyler Fury had happened to him, where he's been suspended, well, guess what? Thomas McEntee, after what we may see and what we saw of him last year, if Sean Jovi gets his way, I think we might be talking about a countdown to extinction to Thomas McEntee, not just in RCW, but in IMF, especially if Sean Jovi gets his way here coming up this Saturday. And I also want to point out, before I get to a few final words, Mr. Jovi, Backyard Barbecue, please go out there and support them. Kiera's Comfy Creations, shout out to her. Also, shout out to the Final Chief, Il Drago. Please keep him in your prayers, everybody. Everybody, please keep him in your prayers. We are certainly hoping that he's out there and he's okay. And I hope that Kiera knows that we're all thinking of her and obviously our Final Chief. And we certainly hope that he speaks and we see him out there, whatever incapacity that it may be. And the show takes place once again here. 6 o'clock Central Standard Time is when the doors open. 7 p.m. is when bell time is, and tables are only $60. Front rows $20. General admissions $15. This is definitely the place to be in Cedar Rapids. If I was nearby, even with one hand, I would still be showing up and waving my hands like I just don't care. But do you have anything else that you want to say to the Switchblades before tomorrow night?
Richard, you know, this is more than just a domestic dispute. I have to win that match. I have to go through you and Freddie. I'm sorry, Frederick. You guys need to know your place, and we will put you in your place. And when we do, Tony Boy, Prince of Chichia, your time is up when we win that match. Because when we face you again, we aren't going to brawl around. We're just going to destroy you and take our goddamn belts back. But before we go, I do have to say this card is stacked. I hope everyone can get a ticket and show up. Because as much as I love / hate / don't know how I feel about the guy, Jim Westfall has a point. You never know what's going to happen unless you buy a ticket to IMF. So if you're watching, if you're in Cedar Rapids, please show up. Your support's much needed. We've been drawing quite a bit of people, and I'd like to draw more. Granted, I don't live in Iowa, so I can't get my own crew over. But if anybody's watching, please show up. Please support us. Please support IMF. Follow me at Sean Jovi. You know the drill.
Yeah, absolutely. No, please.
You love me, whether you want to admit it or not.
Please support all the great wrestling companies out there. I always say it. I've been saying this a lot the last few months. I'm in the business of supporting people, and we want to continue to do that. And it goes without saying, if you're nearby in the area, especially with this winter, I would highly suspect you have the only plan is to be in Cedar Rapids, and especially Backyard Barbecue, by the way, is sponsored with the best food out there. We see Iconics. I mean, all the great stuff that is to offer. So please support the IMF. hit the sub button out there for them. And obviously, you have a hello from someone. Definitely we'll have to see. Stay tuned. And thank you for the spammers. Hello to Michael Christian, by the way. There you go, Michael. How you doing, Michael? Never say never. I've heard that term before from somebody, and it's understandable. And
He's
Sean
missing
Joby,
the word kid at the end, so it's not quite the same.
well, he'll be back on here one of these days. But I'll tell you what, one thing is, despite the domestic laws in Wisconsin, I don't know what they are between you and obviously, Richard. Yeah, but nevertheless, Sean Joby will be in action here coming up. He's pulling double duty. He'll be defending his RCW championship against Thomas McEntee. You'll also see a bunch of others, great talents there. And Sean Joby will be in action alongside his best friend and brother, Mephisto, against those Switchblades. And boy, it is going to be a busy show and a great card. And my friend, I'm looking forward to seeing you after the fallout from it. Everybody, please give a sub to Sean Joby if you haven't yet. Every sub counts, and we're 77 away. So let's do it.
Unlike his one prayer for Richard and Frederick.
Yes, let's do that. And I will put it up one more time because throughout the evening, one sub, it all adds up. It's like, water in a bucket, droplets in a bucket. So do that. And my friend, safe travels. We love you. We will see you after the show, and I'm looking forward to talking about it with you. And thank you for all you do for our great sport. And I'll work on Black Tide. I promise you. I will put that clip on Instagram tomorrow because I have nothing to do other than sit with my hand. Thank you. We'll see you later. That is Sean Joby, the RCW champion, and he will be in action, like I said, throughout the evening this Saturday. We bring on our next person who has not been here in a minute, and boy, I really am fascinated about this one because this man always has plenty to say. And there he is. There he is, the prophet, Jordan Crowley. Boy, Jordan, I should literally just hand it over to you because that's what I should literally do, figuratively and literally. But it's been a minute, and so good to see. I forgot the last time I saw you, but I'm going to remember this time because obviously I can't remember what I can do with my hand. That's what the doctor said yesterday. But nevertheless, thank you so much for being here. And what brings you here to talk about what's ahead here, this King of Cedar Rapids coming up?
Well, first of all, brothers and sisters, rejoice, for I do bring you good news. And ironically, Tom, you'll notice I'm not in my normal environment.
No, you usually on a dark screen and
I'm
popping up. Yeah, I mean, what's the occasion?
I'm actually traveling right now. I'm actually traveling with someone you know very well. Maybe we've gone back to someone's motherland. So
okay.
I'm sure you can put pieces together.
Yeah, I can put two and two together, and I can't do
possibly
much.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I would say you could hand it over to me, but you only got one left.
And it's my dominant hand.
You might need it. You might need it.
No, yeah, I might need assistance.
So, undisclosed location, first of all. And maybe I'll crack the door here to my office here in just a minute.
Widen the screen, would that help you a little bit, or
no? We're fine. No, we're fine. But obviously we've got a very interesting card coming up Saturday. Obviously I was sitting there listening to Jovi, and by the way, who's his opponent again for the RCW title? Who is it?
Thomas McEntee.
Who?
Thomas. I can read this slow for you. Thomas McEntee. Yeah, does that ring a bell?
So he wants everybody to. That's the guy that wants everybody to say his name, right? That's that guy.
That's his opponent. I mean, yes, sir.
No, but I mean the guy you just mentioned. He wants everybody to say his name, right? That's his whole thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, moving on.
I figured that. I figured you have bigger fish to fry. Certainly.
I mean, you could say that. Yes. Obviously, I'm looking forward to what I'm seeing. What I'm gonna see on Saturday. Certainly, the Rock Stars. I would say have an interesting matchup with the Switchblades. However, I mean, domestic disputes aside.
Yeah, I don't know the laws in Wisconsin. I don't know the Wisconsin.
Well, I mean, Freddie's going to be a little distracted. He had quite the big week. So, So I'm wondering how focused he's going to be, and obviously it's a means to an end for the rock stars as far as they want their belts back.
Yep.
So, hold on, let me crack the door here a little bit. Do you hear this? Do you hear that?
Yeah,
That's
I can
pain.
hear. Yeah, I can hear foot stomps. Yeah, I can hear stomps on a mat of some sort. Am I missing something? Sorry, I know I've got some problems right now. I'm disabled, but it sounds like a mat almost.
You would be correct. The champ is the rightful champ, who never quit. Omen Black is actively training right now. Now, is he going to come back to IMF? We'll see. Obviously, he bought a ticket last month.
I got to be honest. Objectively speaking, I was a little bit perplexed on that, sir.
Why? Is he not allowed to buy a ticket?
No, I actually said no. Contrary, I actually thought he should have been able to walk in for free because after what he's done for this sport, done for IMF, I was surprised he had to be a paying customer, regardless of what he did in the last year in the IMF. Don't you agree with that?
Well, let's think about this. Think about everything that he's done for IMF, for professional wrestling as a whole, whether it's the underground scene, the indie scene, the upper echelon, whatever you want to call it. And look how he was treated. Look at what happened in December. Soldier GP tried to almost commit murder with a cinder block.
With a brick, yeah.
And the referee said, "Oh, well, clearly he's done." It was an I quit match. Omen Black never said I quit. So obviously they've shown how little they care about Omen Black. So you think they're going to gift him a ticket? You think they're going to gift him an opportunity to just walk in the door and sit front row? No. He's going to take what he wants. He's going to take a front row seat. He's going to take the opportunity to buy a first class ticket for himself. I took coach. It's okay. To fly to the homeland and prepare. Now, what is he preparing for? Only time will tell. And where? Only time will tell. That's right. I said it twice. Okay.
I understand, sir. I understand.
You see,
a lot
now, another match that we've got on the card. Let's just kind of run through the card, shall we? I mean, do you want to lead this, or do you want me to?
No, I can still talk. I mean, I may not be able to, turn it over to you, but I can certainly talk about some of the card because, one of the matches that I think is most intriguing right now is Rory Fox, Austin Bayless, and Mason Grayskull, because we know what those two men, Bayless and Mr. Fox, but then this guy Mason Grayskull, who got certainly the offer and opportunity of a lifetime with TNA Wrestling, those three men alone, any other show, that's a main event, right? In any other place. What is your thoughts on that match?
What are my thoughts on that match? Okay, obviously, notwithstanding my sister's wonderful relationship with Austin Bayless, been accompanying him to ringside the last couple months. Now, admittedly, if I know my sister, that's more about Haley than it is about Austin or Rory or, obviously this month even about Mason. One thing I heard Jovi say is that there's 3 Iowa legends.
Yes, he did. Correct.
3, what do you say, big names in the Iowa scene, right? I believe that's what Jovi said. I was paying attention.
Correct.
Well, I mean, there's certainly 2 big names and 1 big blob. I'll let you decide which one's that.
I can figure that out what you're trying to imply, sir.
Am I implying it or am I speaking facts? I believe I speak the truth. In the words of a very famous Phil, and he's not from Punxsutawney, tell me when I'm telling lies.
Well, I'm gonna certainly figure that out there for you. But a big match that Mr. Jovi had pointed out.
Mm-hmm. Despite Felix's, we'll just say, interesting views on the world. Now, considering, what he's had to deal with over the last year and a half plus, Certainly he had, his daddy issues, and obviously there was, other, we'll just say, negative outside influences before Omen Black. You got to give credit. He's learned from one of the best in the business, namely Omen, and he's putting together a main event empire. And look at some of the individuals he's already brought in, aligned with him. Isaiah Rage.
A man who held championship gold in the past in the IMF, and a man that's in phenomenal shape after almost a year and a half absence. And this guy is basically come back right where he left off last in the IMF.
It's almost like he was never gone. Picked up literally right where he left off. And then you look at someone who obviously you've already kind of spoke of his accolades and some of his recent opportunities. Mason Grayskull. And the funny thing is that I heard you talk about Mason Grayskull's match and how that's going to be, I believe you called it a barn burner.
Yeah, highly anticipated.
It's going to be a massacre. Let's not fool ourselves here, Tom. Mason is going to destroy that individual. I would call it a no contest. It might be a referee stoppage. Now, that also depends on who the referee is and if they're paying attention. There's certainly some other variables in play. That notwithstanding, it will certainly not be a barn burner. It will be a public execution. And speaking of public executions, let's talk about somebody else I know very well. Gavel Payne.
Oh, you know what? Another man that you certainly know. I'm going to let you just take it away on that.
He made certainly quite the debut last month.
Yes, he did.
I've guided him from day one. I've taught him a lot of things. I've explained a lot of things, told him what pitfalls to watch out for. And when he walked out, obviously I kind of cut him loose. I let him find his own path. And what did that path lead to? Destruction. Did you see that match? Did you see what he did last month? And now you've got someone who, now granted, put up quite the fight against that mule, McCoy. Admirable effort
He did.
by one Dexter King. But he stepped out of the frying pan and into the fire. And now, when he goes up against Gavel Payne, he might not come back. He almost died to Ox McCoy. Yes, I said his full name this time.
You did.
I did. It's fine. But that's only because he's a step below Gavel. Ox McCoy. Yes, I said it again. He's a step below Gavel. Ox came close. Ox tried to kill him. Gavel might get the job done.
I'm not doubting that after what we saw last time, and Dexter King may have put up a quite a performance, but listen, you certainly make some valid points, and considering the mood that you're in, the only thing I'm going to tell people is please go follow IMF Wrestling on all social media platforms and be there if you're nearby in the Cedar Rapids area. But you brought up Felix Jones, and I'm really curious. You talked about Isaiah Rage and you talked about Mason Grayskull, and they are certainly quite a trio. The main event empire. And I was talking with Sean Jovi, who's a former King of Palo winner, about this King of Cedar Rapids. And Felix Jones had come out, and I don't know what you think about it before I get to Damian. I'm sure you have plenty to say on. But what did you think about what Felix Jones had declared that he was going to be the winner of the King of Cedar Rapids coming up here less than 48 hours after his comments? What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, let's tell it like it is, Tom. Had Damian not interjected himself in that match, Felix had it won. Felix would already be holding a title that he's worked the last 2+ years to earn a shot at. And not just earn it, but physically take it, demand it. And he had Soldier GP beat. As I've explained, and as I explained prior to last month, every time those two have gotten in the ring or gotten face-to-face, Felix has gotten the upper hand. And it happened again. Felix had the upper hand. Felix had the opportunity to take the IMF World Championship, and it was only because of Damian Saint interjecting himself in a match he didn't belong in. I don't care that he had the briefcase. I don't care. He didn't deserve to be in that match. Oh, great. Yeah, let's take a look. And look what he does. He goes right after Felix. Felix fought valiantly. I mean, look at this.
Now, Felix,
Let's just let it play out. Look, see, Felix there has the advantage. But again, where's Soldier this entire time? Barely desperation breakup. The match should have been over right there. If Damian's not there, Soldier's clearly out of it. This match is over and new champion. Did you ever, Tom, think about this logically? How long have you been following IMF? How long have we been coming on this network?
3 years. 3 years.
3 years. Did you ever think that you would actually have to say the words and mean it? Soldier GP became a transitional champion.
That's certainly a very, very interesting point you made, and I think a lot of people were surprised that Soldier had lost the championship so soon, and obviously there was a number of factors, and Damian Saint coming into that. But I guess to your point, well, Felix Jones was ready to transition and take that championship from Soldier GP, but the man that holds that title now, Damian Saint, had other plans. Whether Damian Saint remains on top, well, we'll certainly find out. But Felix Jones, to me, is the guy that I'm looking at for this King of Cedar Rapids, because he said he wants to win it. He's got a main event empire with him, and you're absolutely right in what Felix Jones has done to develop in the lab the last year, and the people he's beaten and the people that he's confronted and gone toe-to-toe with. I mean, this young man this could be his crowning, coming out party coming out here in less than 48 hours from now.
Were you really going to say a crowning achievement? Are you really going to go with the king and crown analogy? Really?
No, I wanted the crowning coming out part. I figured let me give like the 3 big extra words. I thought that maybe we could sell the show a little bit more so we can get 1 more ticket or 2 more tickets or 3. So I thought you would have appreciated that, obviously, being there this Saturday. I would have thought, and especially you on commentary, because you are certainly, I'm sure, looking forward to being on the call and announcing who that King of Cedar Rapids winner will be. But Felix is definitely the guy that I've been looking at since last month's New Year's Vengeance that very well could be the guy that wins it.
Would you like to know my prophetic word for that match, Tom?
You tell us, please.
Felix Jones will win King of CR. Felix Jones will go forward and claim what should have already been his, the IMF World Championship.
So I ask you then, since we're seeing Damian Saint, he will be in action against Gabe Sayers, a man in his own right coming off a show where it may have been his crowning achievement in his career, going up and having 400 plus people in attendance and main eventing that show. And he holds several championships in his own right, but this is quite a challenge for him. And how do you feel about this match? And if Felix Jones does win the King of Cedar Rapids, well, who would he prefer to face possibly?
You want to know who I prefer in the match for Damian Saint versus Gabe Sayers?
I think a lot of people would like to know that as well.
I'm hoping for a double count out.
But that Damian Saint retains the championship, though.
I don't care. I mean, these two are so full of their own egos that, you see, okay, explain to me why we're talking about Gabe Sayers and how he was in front of 400 people. Like, that shouldn't be the norm. Like, that's don't get me wrong, remarkable achievement one time. Repeat it. Show it to me again. One time is a fluke. Okay? You see what IMF has been doing month after month after month after month. Proven commodity. I'll have a small hand in that. I'd like to think that, I've done my part. I certainly don't step between the ropes. Don't need to. Don't want to. But then you've got someone like Damien who shows up, steals the spotlight, then disappears. Comes back, wins a briefcase, and disappears. And then appears and interjects himself in a match he never should have been in the first place. Steals the IMF World Championship. That, oh, by the way, should have never been in that match in the first place because Omen Black never quit. So, Soldier GP was a transitional champion of a title he never should have had in the first place. Felix Jones should have won the title had Damian Sate not been there. So, what am I looking forward to when this match happens? Looking forward to going to taking a restroom break.
Well, obviously, that may be your opinion. We would hope, and I agree with you, though, that the many people that will be there do not take a bathroom break. Apparently, though, I have received word, speaking of the King of Cedar Rapids, that there's somebody here.
Hold on. Let me interject. Remember how I said earlier that I was in an undisclosed location and somebody was doing some training?
Yes.
Let me bring on a special guest for you here for just a minute, Tom.
I will certainly do that. Well, wait a minute. Is that the boogeyman of the Midwest, the hardcore god, the guy on his platform? Is that Omen Black? I think. Is it?
I got on a plane in the daytime. It's nighttime here. I'm tired as hell.
I know.
So, Tom?
How are you, sir? I'm congratulations on being here and congratulations on being out in the lab. I mean, you know, Mr. Crowley is definitely have us all rejoicing about you being here and being on that mat right now.
Well, like he's told you many times, Tom, he's been the only one I've been in contact with in the IMF. No Dirty Donnie, no House of Wolves members, no Felix, not even my good-for-nothing brother, Soldier GP. But I'll be at the show tomorrow. I'm just not competing. So.
I understand. Listen, I know you're a busy man.
I lost my game. I know, with the jet lag,
back
I
and forth to
understand.
the homeland like you have.
I got on a plane Friday. I went back in time next Thursday.
It is. That's right.
So I'm going to go home to my house and sleep. Get ready to watch the show Saturday. Jordan, thank you. Tom, thank you. Oh, yeah. Check out the shirt.
What? Yeah, I tell you what. I hope everybody goes there and supports the Storm Academy because if you don't, well, you'll be the damage that we'll see at the King of Cedar Rapids show, certainly from what Mr. Crowley has told us.
Yeah. You know what, Tom? Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching Sportzwire. Jordan, again, thank you.
Thank you so much for being back on your platform. Thank you very much. Wow. You know what?
I make miracles happen, Tom.
You're like the United States hockey men's team this past Sunday.
Men's or women's?
Men's team, because I think the women's have won several times. Although at least the men's team did decide to show up for their colors, but we'll leave that at that. Nothing further to say. I thought that was clever, but I mean, obviously, you certainly know how to pull some strings. But we talked a lot about the King of Cedar Rapids, and apparently, there's a guy that has his own opinions on some of the things that you've said tonight. And apparently I've received word that he also, like you, hasn't been here for a while, and it sort of ties into Felix Jones.
Wait. Is it? Oh, please tell me. It's Mr. Steel Emile himself.
I mean, I wouldn't know if it's steal a meal. I mean, I don't know if that's, the right
Oh,
term.
trust me, he knows.
Well, I don't know if
Please
that's
tell
the
me
right.
it is. Please tell me it is.
I don't know if
I'm
that's the
looking
right-
forward.
I have to look. I know I'm a little
verbally-
disabled right now, but I mean, I can certainly still pull my screen up and see who it is. But for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the Browns at the biggest stage, it's the real deal, Anthony Steele, who makes his long-awaited return to Sportswire Radio for the first time. Well, since what happened with him and the contract that of his and the IMF held by Felix Jones, and he's back.
That's right. I wanted to make sure that we make sure to stress that point of who had control of his contract. That's right.
Well, he's back.
Remember
I'm
that.
giving
Remember
you
that
the floor
prophetic word.
for this. Anthony Steele, you've heard a lot from Jordan Crowley and about Felix Jones, and I'm giving you the opportunity to take it away.
Bro,
I'm not your bro, first of all.
it's funny. At first, let's start off with this. I hear you complaining that Omen lost the title due to the fact that he didn't say "I quit." But
It was an I quit match. It wasn't a get knocked unconscious match.
if you remember right, when me and you were aligned together at one point, and I beat Dirty Donnie
was
the
long.
same way to retain the United States Championship, you weren't complaining. So, let's make that point.
Okay, but here. Let me counter your point. Okay, a referee stoppage to save Dirty Donnie, who admittedly is not a full-time competitor, and even if you would have given him a month, might not have recovered. Versus someone the caliber of Omen Black isn't given 10 seconds to get his wits about him before they ring the bell. Now, so go ahead. Let's hear some more foundation spin, because clearly as soon as you left the house, you just jumped right on that bandwagon. So what would you like to say now?
Look. Here's the biggest part of it all, because I've heard this too many times.
The biggest part of it all is your lunch tray. Got it.
Brothers? Do I have Foundation Brothers in the IMF? Yeah. Am I a sole member of the foundation? No.
Doesn't matter.
It
You
just
can
so
still
happens-
be subject to
It just so
foundation
happens
spin.
that I aligned myself with them to take on the House of Wolves, and we beat them at All Out Warfare. Let me remind you. But the topic at hand right now is I'm back. I'm in
Because
the
of
King
whose
Steel
good
rankings.
graces? Tell the truth. Because of whose good graces? You could have been gone for a month. You could have been gone for a year. You could have been gone forever. Who allowed you back in? And don't say Dirty Donnie. That's a lie, and you know it.
Look, man. When it comes to the King of CR this Saturday,
Mhm.
I got my eyes focused on one man.
Did you notice he didn't answer the question, Tom?
Dirty Donnie is the one that pulled my name out of the hat, not Felix Jones. So it kind of trumps him. So, I mean, Felix can have a say in where my number is if he wants to. I mean, that is, but I'm still under contract with IMF, which means if IMF puts me in a match, I can still show up under their rules too. So
And Felix can tell you to take your contract and shove it where the sun don't shine.
see, but he won't.
Well,
That's the point.
you're right. He
Yeah,
won't, because
no,
you're a
no,
guaranteed victory.
No.
That's
Here-
right.
here's the thing.
He's not going to do that
had-
because you're a guaranteed victory. You're right. You know what?
He had
You know
the
what?
chance.
That's the first real thing you've actually said. He's going to keep you around just to make you his whipping boy.
He had the chance at Winter Clash to get rid
And
of me
did.
forever. He
Okay.
didn't do it. He didn't pull the trigger. Now,
Who
I give
won?
him. I
Who won?
give him words. I
Who
give
won?
him words of respect.
Who
When
won?
he used my own words against me, where I said I've never missed an IMF show since the time that I started back in September of 2024. Had not missed a single show, whether I was sick, whether I was injured, anything. I showed up. I competed at the best caliber that I could at that point in time. And he made it to where that I could not show up last month. Now, I could have been like Omen. I could have bought a ticket. I could have been a fan. But I decided to take that month off. I decided to stay home, stay away from the IMF, to regroup, to strategize a plan against Felix Jones. And now, you brought up a good point. He has Isaiah Rage in his group.
And he's here now, by the way. He is here.
The same guy that ran away from the IMF the night that I debuted, that I was supposed to beat him and Jovi to win the United States Championship that night. The same dude that never wants to step in the ring with me, because last time I checked, the last time Rage and Steel stepped in the ring together, hey Rage, how'd that Rumble go? You thought
that's some revisionist history. You think just because Rage wasn't there means that you were guaranteed to win a title? Really?
I won the title, didn't I?
First match here. First match back in the IMF officially.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Crowley. If you're going to be a commentator and statistic manager, you got to keep your statistics correct.
No, what I'm saying is had Rage been there, you think you still would have won?
Yeah, because I would have done the same thing to him. I would have popped him in his mouth with the brass knuckles like I did Jovi. And little known fact, I can do it this Saturday. Because in the King of CR, there's no disqualification. There's no countouts.
Oh, believe me, I know.
So I could pop Rage in the mouth with some brass knuckles. I could pop Felix in the mouth with some brass knuckles. I could do what I want to them.
Hey, you know what else could happen? I could pop you. Come too close to commentary.
You can try. Or I can get someone to pop you and your little sister yet again on IMF television. So
Anthony makes some good points, because we know what Anthony, the first match he was in, he's making, I'll tell you why, because first match he was in here, won that United States Championship. We know that run he had as United States Champion. He even stacked multiple pin at the same people at the same time. We know what you did winning winning the Rumble and the Wreck. We know, what you've done throughout this run. You've talked about winning the IMF Championship, and we also know that you have not always been on the sides of anybody. And what way to prove that? Anthony Steele's return to the IMF and win the King of Cedar Rapids, because you have so much to prove, and this could be the opportunity. And we know people that are coming here from the underground who you have not ever met, and also people who haven't been here in a long time. And what a way to show why Anthony Steele has been one of those talents. Despite whether you liked him, disliked him over the years, there has been no denying that Anthony Steele is one of the very best talents anywhere, not just in underground, but of all of wrestling. And he has that opportunity. And one thing we know about Anthony Steele, the last 3+ years that we've seen him on this platform, is Anthony Steele, when his back is against the wall, that's where he performs his best. And this might be that moment. If there's anybody you're paying attention to very closely that could win the King of Cedar Rapids, whether, again, you like him or not, it's Anthony Steele.
You know why he's one of the most, we'll just say, well-known talents in the underground scene? We've already been through this. How many times have we got to go down this rabbit hole? How many pink slips does he have? How many promotions has he left or been kicked out of? That's why he's so well known.
Or you could say that those promotions that he may have been pink slipped from, he was right on them. Maybe he was predicting the future. Maybe he was onto something that those companies that really he knew something about.
Wait. No. So if we're going to talk about who
get his last words in, don't you?
That's right, I do, because my words are actually the truth. My words are prophetic.
I've made it,
and we're gonna show you
platform already that you don't have your statistics right. So
we're gonna show you on Sunday, when you wake up after Saturday night, that you will have lost. You will not be the King of CR. I've already made the word. I've already said it. It will come to pass. You know what, Tom? I'd love to sit here and jaw jack with this jackwagon. You
No,
can't.
I have a
I know what I'm
disabled
doing.
hand.
I know how to censor myself because unlike other people, I have dignity and self-respect. So I don't need to resort to profanities and vulgarities to get my point across. But with that being said, I'm sorry. Am I using too many syllables for you? Excuse me. Moving on. But I need to get back to helping Mr. Black train. Tom, respectfully, good night to you. Mr. Well, yeah, you. Yeah, here, let me point down here. You. Yeah, looking forward to watching you lose on Saturday. Gentlemen, you have a good night.
See you Saturday, buddy boy.
That is the prophet Jordan Crowley, and yeah, we're gonna let him go because he is in the mood. But Anthony Steele, you are not without comments because the man that we talked about quite a bit tonight, Felix Jones, said Steele only had a chance if it was the queen of CR. It's the king of CR, so don't worry about that. And Omen Black, who obviously we just saw before, said he's the king, and Isaiah Rage is obviously, well, he's trying to show he's the rage against the machine. And Anthony Steele, I got to tell you, you being back, people always want to hear from you. And I tell you what, I think with what you want to prove this Saturday, maybe you know something. And I would, beg to differ on Mr. Crowley in some of the places you may have no longer been employed to that, in some ways, like, not to compare to the Epstein files, but maybe you knew something in those files that some people should have reported, and you did. And maybe that's why you got those pink slips. And in some ways, maybe this Saturday you're going to use what you knew and win that King of Cedar Rapids and give yourself an opportunity that you have long talked about here for many months, is to win that IMF World Championship. And Anthony Steele, he'll be right back. He's going to come right back because he's obviously got something to say. And if you are out there, please follow the IMF. And if you also are here, follow them on Facebook. Check them out. And also Zilla and Felix Jones are back and forth. And I don't know what that term is, but thank you, please, for being here. And don't shoot the messenger. We'll leave it at that. I don't know what the term is, fill in the blanks. But Anthony Steele is here to save us all. Anthony, can you hear us now?
Yeah.
All right. So, Anthony, one thing you've talked about for many months is to win the IMF World Championship, and there is no better way, and the most important way for you to get that opportunity is to win that King of Cedar Rapids Saturday night.
100%. See, last year at King of Halo, I was the runner-up, entering at number 2. I
remember we talked about that.
Starting the match.
Yep.
And see, here's the biggest thing about it all is I've like I said, I took the month off last month to train, get into shape. The one thing that Crawley doesn't want to admit is if people look at my career from the time that I started in IMF in September of 2024 till now, I've dropped a lot of weight. I move a lot quicker, a lot faster.
Ring gear you've got now. You've become much more presentable in the way you speak with the fans. The fans respect you. Your ring work has continued to improve. I mean, you've always had the tools.
See, and that's the thing about it. Is like people don't want to focus on what's actually about to happen this Saturday. They want to say, oh, well, Felix Jones has your contract. Felix Jones has the main event empire. He has Mason Grayskull, Isaiah Rage. What does that have to do with Anthony Steele winning the King of CR? All that means is he has yet another way to try to screw me out that I can outmaneuver him in. It goes back to, like I said, at All Out Warfare. When it comes down to it, who's to say I don't have people in this match that I can align myself with? There's a man that's going to be in there by the name of Prince of Chia, a dude that I've stepped in the ring with that I have great respect for. And me and him, if we align ourselves side by side, Felix and Rage, you guys ain't shit. You guys can't do anything to me and Prince. You can't do anything to me and whoever I align myself with, for the simple fact it's outsmarting you guys. And I'm going to finish with Felix, but I'm going to start with Rage. Because Rage, like I said, you were supposed to show up that night that I won the United States Championship, and you didn't. I gave you all the praise in the world to show up, because at that point in time in my career, I thought having Anthony Steele and Isaiah Rage in the same ring at the same time, actually going at each other, would have been.
You talked about that 2 years ago. That's a great point, because you came on here many times, and one of the guys, when you weren't employed by the IMF, that you wanted to face was Isaiah Rage. You talked about that many times when you were employed by places that, go back and watch the tape. You did point that out. That's a fair point.
But now, Rage, you've been gone for a year and a half, and I'm supposed to be entertained by the fact that you destroyed Nicholas Crimson. Homeboy, what you did in a 5 to 7 minute time, I did in 10 seconds. I beat Crimson in 10 seconds the night that me and you met. So, should I be afraid of Isaiah Rage being the lackey of Felix Jones, the bodyguard of Felix Jones, whatever Felix Jones wants him to be? No. You had your opportunity a year and a half ago, Rage, to prove to me that you were any threat to Anthony Steele.
But what about the likes of a Mason Grayskull, though? What about him?
See, Mason Grayskull, going to TNA, going to wrestle for a big company like that, give him props. I give him all the respect in the world for that. But aligning himself, a grown man aligning himself with Felix Jones, that don't sit right with me. That doesn't sound like a man from TNA. That doesn't sound like a man that is going to be on national television doing what he thinks is right. That sounds like he's not all there in the brain.
So why do you think he's aligned himself then with the main event empire? Why do you say?
I mean, it's kind of like how I think Felix is doing to him what Omen tried to do to the house. Promise them glory, promise them championships, promise them victories by any cost, any means necessary. But it seems to me that I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Mason Grayskull is going to get what he wants to get out of Felix Jones. And when it comes down to it, Grayson, he's a big dude. And if Felix were to not do some okay-ish things to Mason Grayskull, I don't think Grayskull is going to kind of like that. Same with Rage, which at this point, I'm going to say what I see. The lapdog of Felix Jones, you're barking really loud, Rage. But this Saturday, I'm looking to put a muzzle on you. I'm looking to put a muzzle on you and Felix, because I'm looking to take revenge for Soldier GP. Because if it wasn't for you, Felix, Soldier would be here. He would be competing at the King of CR. And you injured your father. See, the difference between me and him is you made it to where I couldn't compete for 1 month. You made it to where he don't know when he's coming back. And he didn't ask me to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to give you the true life beating that your dad should have gave you last month. And you ain't going to hurt me. You ain't going to injure me. And I'm going to tell you this, no matter what y'all think y'all can stack against me, I'm going to keep coming back and coming back and coming back until Felix Jones, you understand, you can't stop me. It's kind of like how Kyle Keplin's going right now. You can't shut him up,
yeah,
right?
He's coming this Saturday. He's going to be here.
You can't shut him up, right? You can't stop me. You can't make it to where I don't come back to IMF. And come this Saturday, the proof is going to be in the pudding, Felix. when I win the King of CR, when I show that the main event empire, the entire empire has collapsed in 1 month's time, that's when you're going to understand that you didn't just shoot me off for a month. No, you pissed me off. You took away something for a month that I love so dearly, and that is stepping in that ring every single time that a fan base says my name, that a fan base says IMF, that a fan base loves what we do. You took that away from me. And I've said this multiple times on Sportswire. Maybe I should reiterate this. What's worse, Tom, than a man that has nothing left to lose?
Well, I mean, you're right now. You're the most dangerous person that may be in this event coming up. So that would be my answer. You are the most dangerous person to be in this because you're right. You have nothing to lose. We know what your contract situation has been. You talked about Soldier situation. We know Il Drago. We obviously keep him in our thoughts and prayers. I mean, you're back against the wall. I mean, you listen. What's the worst that could happen to you at this point already? What you've went through, and allies of yours that they have already dealt with it and aren't going to be here because of.
Let me say this real quick. Drago, I know you're still with us. I know you're going to get through this. And I know there is a very high chance that you can never step in a ring again. But I'm going to tell you this right now. This Saturday, I'm going to do it for you too. Because when we came into this, when I met you, Drago, it's the same night I met Rage. Your brother in arms. The guy that you've done a lot of this wrestling stuff with. And for him to side with Felix Jones, don't sit right with me, and I know it won't sit right with you. So, this Saturday, I'm going to do what you should have been doing to Rage. And that is this going down his fucking throat. So when you get back, when you get fully healthy, and you start remembering every single thing that we've done in this industry, just know, I love you. The fans love you. Whether people want to admit it or not, the boys in the back love you. And Kiki, if you need to talk, you know where to get me. You know where to update me. So Drago, have a speedy recovery. Come back. Whether it's in the ring or in another stance. This is still your dance, man. You got this.
Absolutely. God bless Il Drago and his family. Let me ask you this, though, before we sign off here. And obviously, we are very happy to have you back. We look forward to having you on here after the fallout from this. Because now, seeing you back out there, people, I am sure, are going to want to hear more from you on a platform you did help build, despite what people may say, for better or worse. You did do those things, and we're looking forward to seeing you back on here. But who would you rather face? Let's say you win that King of Cedar Rapids. A man you've got plenty of history with in the underground through companies that shall, well, figure it out, in Gabe Sayers, or another man you also have history with quite a bit in Damian Saint. What's your take on that?
Look, I love both men to death. Stepping in the ring with both men has made me a better professional wrestler. Gabe and me at Double Z's, me and Damian, and a triple threat with Drago. You know, it is two guys that have revolutionized wrestling in their own territories. And I think going to watch their match pretty close, because when I win the King of CR, it doesn't matter if it's Gabe Sayers or Damian Saint, who is the world champion. I look forward to meeting one of them inside that cage in May. I look forward to having one more shot at the IMF World Heavyweight Championship and sharing the ring with them one more time.
We're going to find that out coming up less than 48 hours from now. It is IMF Day on Sportswire. You need to follow the IMF. You need to follow Anthony Steele. And if you are nearby in Cedar Rapids, please go out there and support the guys, regardless of who you're a fan of or who you are not a fan of. And also, please subscribe to the IMF's YouTube channel. Let me ask you this before I get to closing thoughts. I've heard you talk about the magnitude of winning the King of Cedar Rapids. I got that. We just talked about you and an opportunity to face whoever it could be between Damian Saint and Gabe Sayers. But, you know, this show has always been about almost the proving ground for all the underground stars that have been in different places. Every year we've seen this since the IMF has gone to live shows. And yet again, we're going to see this. We have different names. Jason Storm is also going to be in action. He's another guy you possibly could see out there. You know, you spoke about Kyle Kaplan, regardless of the history you and him have. He's another underground guy. We spoke about Gabe Sayers, but in a way, you have an opportunity to show that over these past few years, it's you, Anthony Steele, that have been that top talent in the underground. It is you, Anthony Steele, that pound for pound has been the best out there in the ring, despite what people may think of you, whether it's been here or other places. And doesn't that also add to this event here coming up less than 48 hours? Because you know, this is not just a show at IMF roster talent. These are guys that are from the underground. Listen, JX is supposed to be here also, another guy that you've certainly seen and in and out of the IMF. And there are guys coming here that are from the underground and have certainly made the case that they've been the best of this generation. They've been the guy that should be when you think about the top, and have built this circuit, this community to what it was and what it is and what we'll remember years from now. But you have that opportunity, Anthony Steele, to show all those people, despite everything that has been thrown at you, everything that people may think of you, and even what you said in your own rights. But in that, it has to be a motivating factor for you less than 48 hours now to show the world on the biggest stage the underground has to offer that you, Anthony Steele, are the real deal, and you are the real top guy in all of underground wrestling.
Whether people want to look at it like that or not, I've been in this a long time. Whether it was backyard, whether it was underground, whether it was the actual indies.
Where you won championship gold.
Like, the one thing I keep telling everybody, I love to fight. I love a good challenge. And the one thing I've always said, I'm not going to knock someone when there is respect there, when they earn the respect. That's why I say, Felix Jones, you earned my respect. You beat me clean at Winter Clash. You outsmarted me. You outmaneuvered me. And you withstood a hellacious beating. But come this Saturday at King of Cedar Rapids, it is now time for me to put you back in your spot, which is the opener in the mid-card, Felix. It's time for me to put Rage back on the shelf and let him go home for another year and a half. And it's time for me to finally take my spot as the face of IMF, as the World Heavyweight Champion. It starts this Saturday. And Felix, Rage, and everybody else in that match. I'm not here to play games this Saturday. I'm here on one mission and one mission only. And that is to win and move on to Rage in a Cage to fight the World Heavyweight Champion.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been quite an evening here on Sportswire Radio in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, as we are less than 48 hours from the IMF's latest show, the King of Cedar Rapids. And I said, this is always, to me, we think about March Madness, right? All the teams come across to win that championship in college basketball. We have some of the biggest stars in the underground, not just in IMF, but all of where we've seen on this platform are coming here. And in a way to win something kind of like what they compete for next month in March Madness. And Anthony Steele has made his own case back on a platform he helped build. And he has made that case that, this is going to be his moment. He's going to win that King of Cedar Rapids, and he is going to win a world championship, and a world championship he has long coveted. And it was Anthony Steele, ladies and gentlemen, that was the guy that first came out to the IMF all those years ago. Before what you've seen with the IMF, it was Anthony Steele that took that opportunity and showed up to the IMF. It was almost 3 years ago to this day that Anthony Steele first showed up in a yard somewhere and showed that he's a guy that just wants to fight. Anthony Steele has not cared, whether it's in a backyard, whether it's in an underground show, whether it's in an indie show, a pro wrestling show. You cannot deny the fact, ladies and gentlemen, Anthony Steele has never shied away from a fight, and he did that 3 years ago. He came to the IMF, and he looked for a fight when nobody else did, and now he's here to finish a fight that he started, and to start it, and for what he needs to finish, it all comes to a head here. This coming Saturday, Backyard Barbecue is a sponsor. Please support them. Iconics, Kiara's Comfy Creations. Please support her, especially with everything else going on. And if you're in the area, the doors open 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, and the bell rings 7 o'clock. So you know where you need to be. And I'm donating a ticket, even with my bad hand, so you can go out there and watch the show. And Anthony Steele will be back. He will be back on here after the King of Cedar Rapids, because now that he's returned to the throne, to the platform that he helped build, it is now time to hear his perspectives a bit more often. Anthony, I am very excited to see what you do and everybody else, especially seeing Isaiah Rage, you and him go back and forth. And you did make a point 2 years ago when you worked somewhere else. You wanted Isaiah Rage. You even did a podcast with him once upon a time. So there's a lot of history there. Felix Jones, a lot of unfinished business. I saw the back and forth with Jordan Crowley, but I pass the baton to you, sir, and I give you the floor. And anything else you want to plug, share, or say, take it away.
Anyone and everybody that loves professional wrestling should come out to Backyard Barbecue in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, this Saturday. Doors open, I think, at 6. Bell time at 7.
7 o'clock. 7 is bell time.
Come out and watch some of the rising talent on the underground and indies. Come watch me beat the shit out of Isaiah Rage and Felix Jones. And if y'all just love this as much as we do, show it. Show the love and the support, because we support all of y'all. At least I do. Probably not Felix or Rage, because they're egotistical maniacs. But at this point, there's not much left to say, except this Saturday, I'm looking for a fight, and I hope someone brings it to me. Whether that is Felix Jones, Isaiah Rage, Jason Storm, or anybody else in this match. Please, 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 please bring me a fight. Because if you don't, the King of CR is going to be a cakewalk. So
there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Steele is back, and he is back with, you might want to say, vengeance. Some post-New Year's vengeance on that road to the King of Cedar Rapids, and he's made quite a case here. I'll tell you what, it is a stacked, and there's mystery opponents out there. I mean, I'm sure that's something that you're keeping an eye on closely, and there could be more names from the underground. But regardless, I mean, Rage may take this one. Somebody says Felix Jones. We talked a lot about him. There's Kyle Keplin out there, Jason Storm, JX. I mean, there's a lot of big names, but Anthony Steele, he's fighting a lot. He's fighting for a lot, especially the likes of Soldier GP, Il Drago. He's fighting also for his own right to get a shot at that IMF World Heavyweight Championship. And he's also fighting to show once and for all in the underground wrestling circuit, specifically over these last 3 years. Again, There is going to be a slew of the names that you've seen here that become household talents elsewhere in their own federations, their own territories, and we've seen what they've done. But Anthony Steele is here to show those people, ladies and gentlemen, that he's the one that's the top guy, regardless of how many championships he's held or regardless of how many wins or losses in terms of his in-ring ability, his in-ring talents, and where he's been and what he's done. Anthony Steele, ladies and gentlemen, is here to show the world and on that biggest stage in the underground that he is that guy. And we're going to find out this coming Saturday. Please follow the IMF on all the social media platforms. And the Blue Meanie got it. Okay, maybe the Repo Man will steal the win. Some people are having revisionist history, but I tell you what I am going to be doing. I am going to be supporting the IMF by buying a ticket after we're off the air. And I look forward to talking with Anthony off the air to get his next appearance scheduled so we can talk with him once again. And I am looking forward to seeing the IMF throughout the month of March. And listen, Zilla is rooting for both Isaiah Rage and Anthony
How
Steele.
is that possible? That's impossible. But okay.
Well, you know what? People bet. Listen, there are some people that maybe they want to, make sure that they have the best odds of winning. And, I guess you can do that. There's Kalashi out there. People bet on mutual fun. Listen, I don't know. I'm not a betting person, but maybe that's the way Zilla feels. Zilla did say she was supporting you in one of the comments. And now she's saying she's supporting Isaiah Rage. Well, look, maybe you two won't see each other. And maybe that's her way of saying that she's rooting for you two to win. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
I hope to God that I see Isaiah Rage in this match. I really do.
You know what? There's a lot of people want you to see. I think there's a lot of possibilities. Isaiah Rage, listen, 2 years in the making. He leaves, you come in, you're back, he's back. I think it's the right place, right time. Blue Meanie, well, Dan told over them, listen, the Blue Meanie, maybe he will show up. I don't know. But I tell you what, Omen Black is training. We saw that Jordan Crowley had a lot to say. Sean Jovi was here, had his own feelings, and you showed up for his birthday. So I don't know how you two feel about each other, but I tell you what I do feel is I want to thank the IMF for everything they're doing for the wrestling community. Thank the IMF for allowing us, despite with one hand, to do this show once again, and their support for Sportswire Radio, for getting us the rock stars. And Anthony Steele is one of those rock stars that was here at the very beginning. And Zilla, you don't have to shut up, but you certainly are appreciated here. And Omen's got tricks. Felix has got tricks. But I tell you what, my trick is it's time to move on and end the show because my hand does really hurt. And we want Anthony Steele to get ready for Saturday. So thank you, everybody, for your support. Anthony, I'm going to let you close it because you like to do it. And the floor is yours. You want to do it? Go ahead.
Oh, dude, I haven't been on here for so long. I forgot.
I'll do it for you. If you can forget, I'll just do it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where Anthony Steele has long held serve. I added that for you. Anthony's mic went out. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. And no, he does not close it. He's actually lost a lot of weight. He actually has lost a lot of weight. And thank you, everybody. See you tomorrow. And we'll put some clips up. My hand does hurt. So we'll see you and we'll see Anthony when we're off the air.